Hi parents, I'm Molly Pope. I am an infant and early childhood mental health consultant and a school psychologist, and I've been answering parents' questions that have been coming in about their children and families in this time of social distancing and a global pandemic. And today we're going to talk about Zoom circle time, which lots of families have felt challenged by. So I have some suggestions of things you could try at home, things to kind of keep in mind to make this feel a little bit smoother for everybody. So the first thing is to acknowledge that this is different and to really name for your child some of the feelings about not getting to see your buddies and not getting to be in the block area and not getting to do all the playground games that you like to do, not getting to see your teachers, and really naming that those things can make you sad, it can make you frustrated, maybe even angry about it. And to let all that have some space and some time. And I think to remember as adults, whenever we do acknowledge some of those harder feelings, is that as the person who has lived longer, had more life experiences, survived the bumps and bruises of our own life, we have perspective to know that we will come out the other side of this. And so that is our gift with children, is to be able to provide that glimmer of hope or that light at the end of the tunnel, that this isn't going to last forever and that we can get through the yucky feelings and know that this will end and there will be a time when we do go back to school. So just to keep in mind that as we name those tougher feelings, to also balance it with some of that hope and perspective. And if we're talking about acknowledging feelings, I think it's important as parents to acknowledge our feelings that we have about what school is nowadays. And whether it's Zoom circle calls or e-learning with some older kids, school has become very different for parents than what it was. I was talking with a friend the other day and saying that school used to be this relief. It was a place I could drop my kid and know that they were in the care and hands of loving adults who looked out for my child, that my child was going to have a positive experience, and my brain was freed up from thinking about my child so I could go and do my work in my life. And that is not how school is functioning these days. School is now really something that requires parent participation, and I'm not getting that relief and getting that bandwidth back that school used to provide. And on some days, it really feels like a burden. So if that resonates for you, I think it's important to name that and to know that that feeling might come up some days, maybe it doesn't come up the other days, but that's real, and it is very true that school is functioning differently. So to be honest with yourself and to name some of those things for yourself, I think is important, and to let it guide your behavior and choices. And if it is feeling like a burden today, that you can make the choice not to go on that Zoom call, and that's okay too. The second thing I wanted to bring up is that if you are going to show up for the Zoom call, that you should show up and participate, and that you can be as much the student with your child, and you can be their buddy in that circle time, that they can share their ideas with if they don't get called on, that you can respond to whatever question the teacher is throwing out there, but that you can be an active participant to make this challenging form of communication be a little more authentic, that your child can have someone he can respond to and you can respond back, and that true serve and return that really is what our social skills rely on can happen on your side of the screen if it's not happening back and forth with the teacher. The third thing to think about is consider doing a simultaneous activity. So, for all us doodlers out there, we know that we listen and digest information a lot better if our hand is moving and we're able to have the freedom to do that. So same is true for kids. Have a snack, have a Matchbox car or something that you can fiddle with in your hand. You could have a little bead of Play-Doh that you get to keep squishing and smushing around. stickers, 2 magnet tiles that can keep clicking back and forth together, whatever. Something that's small that can provide a little bit of that fidget for the hands, because it really allows our brain to then be present for the other activity of listening. The fourth thing is, I would say, lower your expectations if you haven't done so already. And it might be something you have to remind yourself each time you log in, that really what kids are able to do with this new mode of communication, how long they can attend, how they communicate their ideas without being face to face with a person. It's very different. So you might not be seeing your child at their best. You might not be seeing other children at their best, showing their best skills. And your teacher is learning along with you. So to lower your expectations that this truly isn't what school was built for, that these circle times are really to maintain connection and community. Not to be this time of great learning that happens in the classroom under normal circumstances. And then the final thing I would say is to just keep your perspective. When you look at the news and you see how hard a lot of families and people have it right now, we can all take a deep breath, which I do need to do often myself, and just remember how lucky I am and we are to be in a home, to have our children with us, to have the technology that we can connect, and to really let that perspective inform our gratitude. And we can do that on a daily basis. So not easy, but I think really important to remember what we do have. So in summation, the 5 things that I'm recommending is to acknowledge your feelings with your kid and with yourself as a parent about what school has become. To participate and be the adult that your kid can share their ideas with if they're not getting a chance to participate with their teacher on the screen. To consider a little fidget activity or a simultaneous activity while you're on screen. To lower your expectations of really what is this modality providing, that this is about some connection, and really it's a choice of whether you log in or not today. And so make that choice intentionally every day. And then the last one is to keep perspective and to use gratitude to keep ourselves going and remembering that this too shall pass. I wish you all well. Take care, and we'll talk soon.